There's something hiding in your closet right now that's silently draining your energy, and almost every senior still has it. No, it's not your old winter coat or that dusty shoebox. It's something far heavier, emotional clutter. That sweater you haven't worn in 15 years, the gift you never used but kept out of guilt, the dress you're saving just in case they're not just taking up space. They're weighing you down. After 60, every item should earn its place. So why are we still holding on to what no longer serves us? Today, we're uncovering the 7 brutal decluttering rules every senior must follow, or risk living with regret. One of these rules breaks everyone's heart, but also sets them free. Ready to lighten the load and reclaim your peace? Let's get into it. Meet Leverne, 68. A retired florist known in her neighborhood for the vibrant bouquets she once arranged with love. Her passion these days? Watercolor painting, flowers, of course. Her strokes are soft, deliberate, and full of life. A stark contrast to the overwhelming chaos quietly building in her home. For over 40 years, Leverne lived in the same cozy 3-bedroom house she shared with her husband, Harold. He passed away 5 years ago, and since then, time seemed to freeze inside those walls. Every drawer held a memory. Every closet was packed with just-in-case items. The attic? A museum of the past, boxes of old love letters, linen she never used, broken Christmas lights she meant to fix one day. She told herself she'd sort through it eventually. But eventually never came, until one rainy afternoon when she tripped over a stack of old photo albums and fractured her wrist. The fall didn't just bruise her body, it rattled her reality. What if it had been worse? What if she had to move suddenly? How would anyone even begin to sort through this mountain of stuff? That was the moment it hit her. The clutter wasn't preserving her life, it was preventing her from living it. The house that once felt comforting now felt heavy. She realized that every item she hadn't touched in years was quietly stealing her energy, her space, and her freedom. Leverne's story isn't rare. So many older adults find themselves in the same position, emotionally tied to objects, unsure where to begin, and afraid of what letting go really means. Have you ever tried to declutter and felt overwhelmed or frozen in place? Maybe you sat down to organize a drawer and ended up walking away. Share your story in the comments. Let's support each other in this journey. Rule 1. If it makes you feel guilty, let it go. Let's talk about one of the most powerful emotions hiding in your home right now, guilt. It's tucked inside the boxes you never open, sitting on shelves you haven't touched in years. And it's silently convincing you to hold on to things you don't even like. Guilt is sneaky. It tells you that you should keep that bread maker you used once. That you owe it to your late aunt to hang on to that massive silver punch bowl, even though you've never hosted a formal party in your life. That was exactly the case for Leverne. That silver bowl sat in the corner of her cabinet for 14 years. Every time she looked at it, she felt a little pang. She didn't like it. She didn't use it. But she kept it because it was a gift. And because parting with it felt like betrayal. Here's the truth no one tells you. Keeping something out of guilt doesn't honor the person who gave it to you. It just buries your peace under a pile of emotional weight. Leverne eventually wrapped that bowl in newspaper, placed it in a donation box, and whispered, "Thank you." And just like that, she made space, not just on her shelf, but in her heart. Ask yourself, am I keeping this because I truly love it? Or because I feel bad letting it go? That's the question that can shift your entire mindset. Decluttering isn't just about stuff. It's about reclaiming your emotional freedom. What's one item you've kept out of guilt? Be honest, drop it in the comments below. Coming up next, the rule that breaks everyone's heart, but also brings the deepest relief. You won't want to miss it. Rule 2, nostalgia is a sneaky liar. Nostalgia has a gentle voice, but it can be a ruthless thief. It convinces you that every dusty ticket stub, every chipped mug from that long-forgotten road trip, and every handmade Mother's Day card from decades ago still belongs in your home. Not because you need them, but because they meant something once. For seniors like Leverne, this was the hardest rule to face. In her attic, there was a shoebox filled with birthday cards, some dating back 30 years. She hadn't read them in ages, but every time she tried to toss them, she heard a voice in her head. What if I forget? What if I lose the memory? But here's the truth. You don't need the object to keep the memory. That beach shell from your honeymoon? The sweater your son wore in 5th grade? Those moments live in your heart and mind. You carry them, whether the physical item is there or not. What's worse is that these objects, meant to hold joy, often end up holding us back. They become clutter, not comfort. And when everything feels sentimental, nothing stands out as special. Instead, create a memory capsule, a small, intentional box or album with the best of the best. Choose items that truly tell your story and spark joy every time you see them. Let the rest go with gratitude. When Leverne did this, she chose 10 pieces that mattered most: a love letter from her husband, her daughter's first painting, and a photo from her first flower shop. Everything else? She released it with a full heart. Ask yourself, is this item holding a memory, or just holding space? What's one nostalgic item you can't bring yourself to part with? Let's talk about it in the comments. The next rule exposes the lie behind the just-in-case mindset, and it's one nearly every senior falls for. Rule 3, if it's for someday, it's for no day. We all have that someday pile, the stuff we're convinced we'll need one day, but never actually use. Maybe it's a backup blender gathering dust, a sewing machine from the 1980s, or camping gear that hasn't seen the light of day in decades. The problem? Someday almost never comes. Leverne was a perfect example. She held on to 5 different kitchen gadgets, each purchased with good intentions. I'll use that to bake cookies for the grandkids, or this will come in handy if I want to try sewing again. But years passed, and those gadgets stayed untouched, blocking precious space in her kitchen cabinets. Here's the harsh truth. These just-in-case items aren't just clutter. They're traps. Traps that keep you stuck in a future that might never arrive, preventing you from fully enjoying the present. Letting go of these items doesn't mean giving up hope or passion. It means freeing yourself from what-ifs that drain your energy and space. When Leverne finally donated those 5 gadgets, she didn't just clear her cabinets, she cleared her mind. That empty cabinet became a symbol of her new freedom, a place to store things she truly loved and used. This rule is brutal because it asks you to say goodbye to potential, but it's also one of the most empowering steps you can take. Ask yourself, how many someday items are filling your home and your mind? What's one just-in-case thing you've been holding on to? Share your story below. Rule 4, your family doesn't want it. This rule is one of the toughest, and most emotional, realities to face when decluttering after 60. Your family probably doesn't want most of the things you treasure. The china sets, the crystal vases, the antique figurines carefully collected over decades, while precious to you, may just end up forgotten in an attic or tossed away by the next generation. Leverne discovered this painful truth firsthand. She had spent years carefully storing her late husband's collection of porcelain figurines, imagining that someday her children or grandchildren would cherish them just like she did. But during a family visit, her youngest grandson gently looked at her and said, "Grandma, I want your stories, not your stuff." At first, those words stung. How could he not want the things she had loved and cared for so deeply? But as she thought about it, Leverne realized her grandson was right. The stories, the laughter, the lessons, the moments shared over cups of tea, were the real treasures. Not the fragile objects that gathered dust and took up precious space. Holding on to possessions for the sake of passing them down can create unnecessary stress and clutter, both for you and your family. It can weigh heavily on your mind and home, making it harder to enjoy the present. Meanwhile, your loved ones might feel overwhelmed or burdened by items they don't want or know what to do with. Instead of focusing on things, focus on sharing your legacy in ways that truly matter. Write letters telling the stories behind your favorite memories. Record short videos sharing advice or family traditions. Create photo albums with captions that explain the meaning behind each picture. These are gifts your family will cherish for years to come, without the physical clutter. Letting go of things doesn't mean letting go of love. It means making space for what truly matters: peace, freedom, and connection. When Leverne embraced this, she found a new kind of joy, one that came from lightening her home and enriching her family's future. Have you ever inherited someone's stuff? What did you do with it? Was it a blessing or a burden? Share your story in the comments. We're here to listen and support. Coming up next is Rule 5, the one that shocked Leverne to her core and completely changed how she faced decluttering. You won't want to miss it. Rule 5, one room at a time, one decision at a time. Decluttering can feel like facing a mountain when you're surrounded by decades of belongings. The sheer volume can be overwhelming, so much that many seniors freeze before even starting. But here's a secret that changed everything for Leverne, and can do the same for you. You don't have to do it all at once. The key is to break it down into small, manageable steps. Start with just one drawer, one shelf, or even a single corner. That's exactly what Leverne did. She began with her bathroom cabinet, a small space packed with expired lotions, forgotten medicines, and old makeup. It took her just one afternoon to sort through it all. That tiny victory gave her something priceless: momentum. Suddenly, decluttering didn't seem like a scary mountain, it was a series of small hills she could climb. With each drawer cleared and each shelf organized, her confidence grew. Confidence brought clarity. She began to see what truly mattered and what was simply taking up space. Instead of staring at the whole house and feeling defeated, Leverne focused on one decision at a time. Should she keep this item or let it go? Does this bring her joy or just occupy space? Each choice was like a stepping stone forward. This approach not only made the task manageable but also deeply satisfying. Every cleared drawer was a win, every donated item a symbol of progress. Her bathroom cabinet was just the beginning. It gave her the courage to tackle the guest room, the attic, and eventually the entire house. Remember, decluttering isn't a race. It's a journey. One room at a time, one decision at a time. And with every step, you're reclaiming your space, your peace, and your freedom. What's one small area you can start decluttering today? Share your first step in the comments, we'll cheer you on. Up next is a rule most seniors never even think about, but it can make all the difference. Don't miss it. Rule 6, keep for purpose, not sentiment. One of the hardest decluttering traps is sentimentality. We hold on to things because they remind us of people, places, or moments that mattered. But after a while, the sentimental value can turn into clutter that weighs down your space and your spirit. That's why Rule 6 is so important. Keep for purpose, not just sentiment. When Leverne looked around her home, she saw shelves overflowing with knickknacks, souvenirs, trinkets, dusty trophies, and odd little gifts from friends and family. Each one had a story, but together, they created a crowded, chaotic feeling. She realized many of those items weren't useful or beautiful anymore, they were just there out of habit and emotion. So she asked herself a simple but powerful question: why am I keeping this? If the answer wasn't clear, if it wasn't useful, beautiful, or part of a legacy she wanted to pass on, it was time to let it go. Leverne found a much more meaningful way to honor her memories and her family. Instead of 5 shelves packed with stuff, she created a photo album filled with pictures and handwritten notes telling the stories behind them. That album became a treasure chest her children and grandchildren could hold, read, and pass down, without the dust or the clutter. Purpose gives objects meaning, and when you keep things with purpose, your home feels lighter, and your memories shine brighter. It's not about getting rid of everything sentimental, but about being intentional. What do you want your story to say? How do you want your family to remember you? This rule isn't just about stuff, it's about creating space for what truly matters: beauty, usefulness, and meaningful legacy. What's one sentimental item you've kept for too long? Could it have a better place in a story or photo instead? Share your thoughts below. The final rule is the one that ties it all together, and can transform how you live every day after 60. Rule 7, decluttering is an act of love. Decluttering is often misunderstood as simply a practical chore, something you do to clean your home or free up space. But for seniors like Leverne, it revealed itself to be much more: an act of love. Not just love for the things you keep, but love for yourself, your family, and your future. When Leverne first began letting go of years' worth of belongings, she felt a swirl of emotions, guilt, nostalgia, even fear. But as she moved through the process, she started to feel something else: freedom. Each item she released was like shedding a weight she hadn't realized she was carrying. Her home felt lighter, her mind clearer, and her heart more open to what lay ahead. Decluttering is a gift to your future self. Imagine the relief of walking into a room where everything has a purpose, everything sparks joy, and there's no overwhelm. This simplicity offers peace in a way that piles of forgotten objects never can. It's a way of saying, I deserve to live in a space that reflects who I am now, not who I was decades ago. But decluttering is also a profound gift to those who love you. Family members often inherit not just belongings, but the responsibility and stress of sorting through years of accumulated stuff. By thoughtfully clearing out what no longer serves you, you spare your loved ones from that burden. You leave behind a legacy of intention and care, a home that invites connection rather than confusion. This act of love goes beyond physical items. It's about reclaiming your space, your time, and your energy. It's about creating room for new experiences, new memories, and new joy. Decluttering becomes a ritual of honoring your life's journey while embracing the present moment fully. Leverne's words capture this beautifully. I feel lighter. I feel ready for what's next. That readiness comes from the peace of knowing you've made space for what truly matters, inside your home and inside your heart. Ultimately, decluttering is not about losing things, it's about gaining clarity, freedom, and love. It's an empowering choice that honors your past and welcomes the future with open arms. Leverne's journey wasn't just about clearing out belongings, it was about reclaiming something far more valuable: her peace of mind. After decades of holding onto things that weighed her down emotionally and physically, she made a courageous choice to let go. And what followed transformed her life in ways she never imagined. She moved from the old family home, cluttered with 40 years of memories and stuff, into a bright, sunlit apartment. But this wasn't just a new place, it was a fresh start. In her new space, Leverne surrounded herself only with the things that truly mattered to her. Her favorite books sit neatly on shelves she can easily reach. Her watercolor paints, long neglected, are now part of her daily routine, rekindling a passion she thought she'd lost. Instead of crowded walls filled with dusty frames, Leverne created a single photo wall, a carefully curated collection of images that tell her life story. This wall isn't just decoration, it's a living tribute to her journey, her joys, and the people she loves. Every time she looks at it, she feels connected and inspired, without the overwhelm of clutter pulling her attention away. More than just tidying up her physical space, Leverne reclaimed control over her mental and emotional space. The burdens of guilt, nostalgia, and indecision began to lift. With fewer possessions to manage, she found more time and energy for herself, to paint, to read, to spend meaningful moments with family and friends. Her story shows that decluttering isn't about losing the past, it's about making room for your present and future. It's about shedding what no longer serves you so you can live more fully and freely. Leverne's transformation is proof that letting go can be deeply empowering, opening the door to peace, joy, and renewed purpose. If you're facing a similar mountain of memories and belongings, remember, it's not about what you give up, but what you gain: peace of mind, clarity, and a home that truly feels like your sanctuary. Like Leverne, you can create a space that reflects your story, honors your life, and welcomes what's next with open arms. If this video inspired you even a little, please hit that like button and share it with someone who's facing a mountain of memories and stuff they don't know how to let go of. You never know how much a little encouragement can help. And don't forget to subscribe to Wise Aging Seniors for more life-changing advice every single week, designed especially for those embracing the best years after 60.